Hello, inspired creators. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Latara, and I basically do a lot of DIYs as well as different craft using decadent, silicone, all kinds of things like that.
So today I'm going to show you how I made this lemon meringue pie. So I started off using some modeling clay. This is Model Light from Walmart, but you can actually get Model Magic from Dollar Tree. It works the same. So the first thing I'm gonna actually do is just start kneading the clay together. Once it sits for a long time, I start to dry it a little bit, so this helps it to not crack while you're trying to create whatever it is that you're trying to create. And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to add in a couple drops of paint. So I did a couple drops of brown and then a couple drops of like this off-white, and just to give it a little bit of color, because this clay is going to be for the crust of the lemon meringue pie. So I just wanted to add a little bit of color to it, even though I am going to do some painting as well onto the crust to make it look a little dark in certain areas. I also added a little bit of yellow just to give it a little bit more color, so that I didn't have to do too much painting to the crust to give it the color that I want. And just add a little bit more color if you feel that you need to. You definitely don't have to. You can skip this step if you want. So next, I'm pretty much just rolling it out and flattening it to the shape that I want the crust for my pie to be. And I'm using my hand because I don't have a rolling pin that actually doesn't stick to the clay as of yet. But the palm of my hand worked out just as good. And so when making the crust, you want to have a little bit of extra crust out on the sides of it. And don't worry about trying to make it perfect. Honestly, mine came out a little weird looking, but at the end of the day, once I finished creating my pie, when people looked at it, they knew exactly what it was, and that was a win for me. Plus, it's my very first time doing this, so I learned a lot, and you definitely will too. So now I'm just using a knife to cut the sides off and just leaving a little bit of the crust there at the bottom. And now I'm just trying to get the shape of the top part of the crust to look, you know, somewhat like a pie crust, I guess. Apologies for my noisy background, but now I'm just doing a pinching method to get the, you know, the crust to look like normal pie crust, and it turned out pretty nice. And this is where I started to paint the crust a little bit more to give certain spots a little dark color, kind of like how it looks after you bake your pie. So I did the yellow again and the brown that I showed you earlier, and just painted on just a little bit. I didn't do a whole bunch, just a light little shading of that mixture just to give it a little bit of color. Some parts I did a little bit lighter, some parts I did a little bit darker, and that's just because, you know, when you bake a pie, it's not all the same color. It's a little lighter in certain areas, a little darker in certain areas, so that's pretty much what I did. Now I'm going to start making the meringue of the lemon meringue portion of the pie, and I started off with some silicone caulking that you can get from Lowe's or Home Depot or any hardware store, but I pretty much get all mine from Lowe's. And then I periodically added drops of this yellow and white resin pigment that I got off of Amazon. And I just added the yellow and the white up until I got the color that I wanted for the lemon meringue portion of the pie. And so you can just pretty much eyeball that. You can always look at a picture of a lemon meringue pie online and just kind of compare the colors, but yeah. And although this is off frame a little bit, this is basically where I, you know, painted or added the lemon pie filling to my fake pie, and you only want to do it halfway because, you know, that's how lemon meringue pies look, right? And this next part I think got cut off, but for the meringue portion, I'm actually using white spackle that I literally just plopped to the top of it and then spread it out a little bit and then used a spoon to kind of give it those peaks. And so here's the end result again. It came out great.
So thank you again for joining us. See you next time. Peace and love.